Give me a second, y'all. Jason's making this live on Insta. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Niner Faithful. I know everyone is having a legendary day. You know, this is officially the last time I get to wear this shirt, this year, and I am so happy to be able to wear this shirt today. 24-hour rule is technically been in effect. But I think we're allowed to stretch it a little bit longer, just a little bit longer until the end of this show. Of course, we're going to get into, let's be real, I've been watching Niner football for a very, very long time. Closest game I could think of anything that comes close to that personally myself, maybe NFC Championship game 2012, which I'll admit I was listening on the radio because I was at work. And the comeback against the Giants. But when you look at what the game was, you know, how bad it looked and just the circumstances and everything and everything involved, yeah, this has to be one of the big non-Super Bowl wins in franchise history. And I'm beyond thrilled to be able to break it down for y'all today. We're going to go ahead and do that. But before we get started, of course, we got to remind everybody to help out Niner Faithful Radio by getting your shop49ers.com affiliate link. Link is in the description of this video or podcast. Go get your Super Bowl gear through our affiliate link. Go to SeatGiant.com. Use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and Super Bowl tickets, as well as help out this show. Of course, catch us Friday night. Jason and I are thinking about doing a 1 week offense, 1 week defense type of preview show. We'll kind of probably talk about that on the fly here on the show, but definitely we'll be going live 6 p.m. here on the West Coast. Follow us social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio, Twitter at Niner Faithful R. Go to SeatGiant.com. Use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio. To see everywhere you can subscribe to the show, go ahead and visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe. Read the cue card, T. There will be no game day shows this week, but next week there will be. Stay tuned to the end of the show to get your special coupon code for 20% off of season 3 for the Faithful by the Faithful apparel. We're going to go ahead and extend that coupon code up until the Tuesday before our after the Super Bowl, so you'll be able to use that a lot longer. Ladies and gentlemen, Faithful of all ages, let's get the show back.
Rice has just set a Super Bowl record with 12 catches. He's in motion. Montana, touchdown! John Taylor.
What's cracking, Jason?
What is up, man?
I'm not even gonna ask how you're doing, bro.
I think we are all good right now, man.
Oh, fucking A. There's probably only one way I could be legendary here.
Yes, there's one step left.
One step left. And you know, I think you and I have kind of been on a little bit on the same page. And the fact of, like, I posted on Facebook, I was like, look, as proud as I am right now, like, let's not pretend, let's act like we've been here before, you know?
Yeah.
And let's not pretend that if, you know, we don't get the job done, this is not going to be a long off season. I was even telling my girl, I said, look, last year we had some what ifs. And you and I discussed how, look, whatever we feel about the Eagles, the Chiefs would have been a different beast, especially without a quarterback. You know, but there was still another game of what ifs. When you lose the Super Bowl, there's literally no, like, it's what if Jimmy connects with Emmanuel Sanders?
Yeah. Just real quick, for some reason, chat was disabled, and I got it back up. So if everybody wants to start talking again, I got it fixed.
Okay, yeah. Awesome. Don't know what's going on. Big shout out to Jason.
Probably because of me from yesterday.
Yeah, big shout out to Jay. The Lord knows the consequences we're gonna have to face because of that shit, bro. So please make sure that you have multiple ways of listening to NFR. Jason, I had to come up with some creative editing on the fly.
It was yesterday, on the fly, man.
And we have no idea if this is going to work, what's going to go on. More during our group and our personal meeting we're going to have after the season. That sucks, bro, because if we can't do that shit, that's a big chunk of our ideas on the future of NFR next season.
BC texted me. He said that it's on, for some reason it was on kids. And I'm like, why the hell is this show on kids YouTube?
Yeah. What's up, BC?
Oh,
okay,
I
cool.
Got switched over. It also doesn't help that now the NFL is apparently watching our show. Or at least I feel like, hey, you know what? I was talking to a bunch of people, like I was talking to like Johnny and Josh and all the guys and with the big channels, and they're like, hey man, welcome to the club for getting your shit taken down for the NFL.
This is I've heard them. I remember a post by Johnny that he was like, this is why I have my Patreon, which is a membership or getting more active in Patreon is something that we're going to be discussing in our after show meeting and try to come up with some special perks for that and stuff like that. But yeah, awesome.
Yeah, man, we got blocked by
if that's part of, our first, hey, welcome to the big boy moment, welcome to having a view that's gotten up into the K's, in viewership. I hope to be having more headaches like this. Not really, but like it's a good problem to have. I don't know what to say, but this is hopefully things for the future. But getting to the game, did Eminem curse to Lions like by flipping off those Niner fans? I don't know. So
that's okay. He left the stadium looking like Papa Doc.
Fucking A, bro. What's up, B Rabbit? Anyway.
Yeah, what's
on the joy? What's cracking, brother?
Some of the Eminem memes and everything have just been fantastic to see.
Just I've seen something. I'm just like, and then he literally and like I said, I want to first start this off by saying, look, we're laughing and we're doing that. We're doing everything that we're doing. There was a meme I shared on my Facebook that was a meme of Michael Strahan going to TL, pointing out the scoreboard and the comeback against the Giants. And then there's a picture of Sauce Gardner waving to when they're after
the same thing.
Touchdown to go up 20-7. Which doesn't feel as I would still give the quote unquote curse to Michael Strahan because that literally is when the comeback started. Was that TO touchdown? That's that literally started the comeback. Let's be real. They still scored an extra point and a field goal before we even started the comeback. I said on Sunday, Jason, how do you analyze this game? And you told me simply, we're going to the fucking Super Bowl. That's how you analyze this game. I have never seen a team look so bad. I mean, it was bad, Jason. Like, it looked like we did not belong on the field with them.
We look like the Lions most of their franchise history.
Like it was just, and it wasn't a lot of cussing. It wasn't a lot of screaming. Like I looked at my girl and I said this. I said, like, this looked like very Chip Kelly-esque. You know what I'm saying? It looked very 2016-ish. And I said, they ran 15 plays, their first 2 drives. They had 1 third down. The first drive was 4 plays. They had 3 first downs, and the 4th play was the touchdown. I've never seen some of that type of shit, Jason. Ever. That in a team of this quality. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. Some Chip Kelly years, we've seen some shit. You know, the Chip Kelly years.
Shanahan's first season
or whatever. But this is literally the most rushing yards Shanahan gave up in the first half. And what was more concerning,
fucking yards, man.
What was the most concerning was it's exact same issues that we've been harping on all season.
Yep.
There was a play, bruh, that I looked, and for a split second, I said, do we entertain trading Fred Warner this year? Like, for a split second, I said that, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to keep it straight 100. I said, do we trade Fred Warner?
His shoulder tackling, man. It's like, with all the amazing things that he can do, he also has plays like that. And it's just like, dude, what the fuck? What up, John Jay? How you doing, brother? It's just, I mean, I wouldn't say that I would go that far per se.
No,
but I know what you're saying. But I'm just saying, I know you wouldn't actually do that, and you're just like, fuck, this guy sucks when he does. But when he plays like that, he's terrible.
It's Chase Young is a liability. Yeah, who?
But I'll say this, to his defense, he showed up in the second half. He did have. But first half, was nowhere to be seen.
This is why I love to look at the show at the broader picture, and each individual game kind of with the broader picture scope, is because we remove the emotions of the second half and looking forward. And I know we'll get into this next week, but Friday, looking forward, I have to consider him a liability against the Chiefs, or at least give him a very short leash. And if there was anybody of any type of caliber we could pick up, like if this was during the season, I would even contemplate cutting him. Because the problem isn't missed tackles or anything. It's effort. It's the very simplest thing that you could show on a football field. Very simple. Look, you could be put on your ass 9 out of 10 plays. Coaches would rather see that than you're not even trying, bruh.
It was the effort at times was pretty bad. I almost wonder if there's something with him that's just is he hurt in some way that hasn't been talked about?
I was thinking the same thing with Hargrave. I was like, is Hargrave hammy? Just because let's be real, bruh. Everybody on this team is dealing with something.
Everybody on Detroit's probably dealing with something.
Yeah, everybody that was, everybody's dealing with something. So it's more of a, can you practice? Then we're not saying shit. Mm-hmm. If like Debo, it was clear he couldn't practice. But let's be real. If Debo could have practiced all last week without limitations, it was just strictly a pain tolerance, and they could shoot or whatever, they would have not said shit about his shoulder.
No.
McCaffrey's neck. Oh, it was just a stinger. Oh, I took myself out.
I don't know.
And that massage gun in the first half. Let's be real. Christian McCaffrey's a gangster, bro. Okay, we know he's not right.
If there's one person on this team that's hurting, it's him. The man is carrying this team. Literally carrying everything, and he just gets beat up every single play.
I was very, and this is why I told my girl, I was like, they vote for the MVP every year. They vote for the MVP at the end of the regular season.
Mhm.
Because what it would end up happening is every year the MVP would just be one of the quarterbacks in the Super Bowl if they voted it for it in the playoffs.
For the longest time, it felt that way.
I mean, it felt like that, but that's legitimately what it would be. It would be between Patrick Mahomes and Brock, and let's be real, Patrick Mahomes would win. If it was just held in the playoffs. So I step away from this game, and it was weird. It was a lot of quietness, just numbness. And I remember looking at halftime, and I started to put together the thumbnail. I didn't put the score. I just put 0-0. Right? Because I was like, okay, we got to switch something up. I think I missed Juwan's one-handed catch. I actually still haven't watched the highlights. Because I was outside. I was outside. I told you, I was outside chain smoking cigarettes the last drive, basically the last 2 drives of the Whackers game. So I started the third quarter outside. Like, okay, bro, is this what we just got to do? I just got to because I've told you about how most of the game at Levi's, I spend in the smoking section trying to figure out a way to look at the Jumbotron the right way.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, it's just I got to be outside. I got to pretend like I'm at Levi's and listen to the game on the radio. And I did turn off the radio in my room and use the radio I use at the games. I did do that when I went back inside.
How's it, Rick? Thank you, brother.
Hey, Rick, we're feeling legendary, but I feel weird because I've never looked at a Super Bowl team in my life and felt like they have so much flaws defensively. We'll get to the offense here in a second. But have you ever felt this about a team's run defense? I feel like any Super Bowl caliber team defense, you have to say they stopped the run, right? Like that's just kind of like football 101.
Even in the second half where we kind of shut them down, they were still getting some gashing runs. There was still those two guys running straight up the middle at times.
Here, let me pull up the drive start right now. 49ers Lions box score. Here we go. Because I felt like they were still making plays. Okay. I'm torn by this. I'm gonna tell you how I feel about Dan Campbell, Jason, and then I want you to tell me how you feel about the Dan Campbell situation. I can understand him saying, hey, you do what got you here. How many times do we scream at Kyle for that, right? This is what we do. But to me, and I'm not even mad at the one after we kicked the field goal. I'm not even mad at that because at that point, okay, they kicked the field goal, whatever, right? You have to think we're going to get this 4th down, we're going to score a touchdown, and essentially the game would have probably been over. So, because it's clear what in the 2 playoff games, what has really jolted the quote unquote comebacks? It's been 4th down stops by the defense.
Mm-hmm.
To both games,
I've always complained about.
Yeah, right. So I'm not mad about that second one. What I'm mad about is the last 4th down because you got to get points. Because it's clear we have momentum, right? The Niners are starting to come back. You're the underdog, right? You're the underdog in this game. The stadium's getting loud. The faithful are starting to get lit. Like everything that they tell you about being a road team, take the crowd out of it, jump out to an early lead, take the crowd out of it. All those things Detroit did. Now the momentum switched. The crowd's into it. I've never heard mind you on the radio, but I've never heard Levi's that loud, bro.
It seemed like it would get loud.
It seemed like it was loud.
Except for that time where I heard Jared Goff chants. I was like, what in the actual fuck?
I heard apparently, I didn't hear it on the broadcast, but Tim Ryan and Greg Papa were saying you could hear "Let's Go Lions" chants.
Yeah.
Apparently there were some Lions fans there, and you know what? That doesn't surprise me in a way. That doesn't surprise me in a way because You got to understand, these are people, let's be real, like Eminem, for example. Let's be real. How old was Eminem the last time he went in 91? Was it maybe a teenager, maybe early teens? You know what I'm saying? So this is literally been every person there. This is literally probably been the second time they've ever had an opportunity to see their team in the NFC Championship game. They should as hell had enough years to save.
Some of those people that were in the stands that were Lions fans were probably just Jared Goff fans because he's a local boy.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? He probably had a big contingent. Yeah, you know his family, they might even how many quarterbacks in the NFL right now we should have picked up because they were local quarterbacks and all that kind of stuff in high school. Who's to say that, a lot of the contingency there are actually Niner fans, but because Jared Goff is there playing, they're putting on his jersey, kind of like what we did when we hung out with Tua's family.
No, they were clearly wearing shirts that basically said Niner fans, but Tua's our family.
Yep.
Oh, what's up, Miss Teresa?
Miss Teresa, how's it?
I mean, you know what's so funny? Once we took the lead, I was not nervous. Honestly, once we tied it, I was a little nervous once we tied it.
I think at that point you could see them; they were just reeling at their point. Like you could see it on their face. They were like, "What the hell just happened?"
I think honestly, I was a little because a fluke play, like the play where Ambry picked the ball and the ball was taken from him. Fluke shit happens in football all the time, but it really felt like, let's be real, with the history of the Niners and the history of the Lions. It felt like it was a destiny for the Lions to blow this game and the Niners to come back. Right?
I see it the opposite way. I see it as that it's another time where the Lions failed.
Yeah.
And it was another time where this team that has been so good and pulled shit out basically at the last second. It's like, okay, we are the better team. We're going to finish this strong. We know how to do this.
Honestly, it seems like that's what was pretty much said like at halftime. Honestly, you know what I think happened to Chase Young? I think it may never be said, but I think Nick Bosa got on his ass.
It's probably the one person in that locker room that could probably get to him in a more personal way than anybody else.
I bet you Nick Bosa got on his ass like something vicious. And I love that because that's Nick saying, look, like, that's Nick taking ownership of the team and saying, I'm not letting this team, one of the very few players from that Super Bowl that's on the team.
Yeah.
I'm not blowing this opportunity again to get back to this game. I'm not calling out George Kittle, but I'm saying I just have a feeling about Kittle Corn. Because we know the man's motivated. We know the man was very, it's just psycho. And when he said, I'll be back with a motherfucking vengeance. I believe that, bro. I believe Kittle's playing that shit in his head every day this week.
Look how he ran. Look how he ran whenever he didn't get the ball much, but look how he ran when he had it. He ran like a man on a mission.
It's so funny because this almost seems like the team that would get it done just because let it be the, Mr. Irrelevant and all that. And I told you before that Patrick Mahomes in one game scares me. They're not going to allow us to score 27 unanswered points. That's just not going to happen. Even with the onside kick, I wasn't nervous because I'm like, dude, we are not losing this game because they fucking get an onside kick. You know what I'm saying? And fucking.
Well, how often do those things work to begin with? You know what I mean? That's such a slim thing.
At that point, Brad, then like I don't know what to do. Like, can you even be mad? Like, can you even be mad? Can you even say we blew the game at that point?
What if they've gotten the onside kick and won it that way?
Yeah.
Be mad.
I mean, of course you're gonna be mad. Of course it's gonna be what the fuck, but like during the whole game, I was actually pretty calm. Like until we started coming back, obviously. It was just more numb disbelief, and it was more like, are we gonna go out like this? Like, really, this is how it is gonna end.
I was
And-
just the fact that you have a young team that came out so fast, and
Mhm.
I remember when this team was younger, like in 2019, that kind of stuff to where emotions does play a big part of it, and you ride that high you ride that high higher and lower when you're a young team like that. Just at first they were running all over the place, everything bounced their way, but as soon as they started swinging the other way, it dropped out of them very quickly.
So would you say more this? Never question the result of a champion, i.e. the Niners, Brock Purdy, George Kittle. Players that you're like, when Bill Walsh said the quote, champions behave like champions before they're champions. Like there are some players, Trent Williams. There are some players that are championship quality players. That you're like, if Trent Williams never wins a ring, you're like, how the fuck did Trent Williams never win a ring? One of the greatest players in NFL history, right? Dan Marino. How the fuck does Dan Marino not have a Super Bowl? Like that just doesn't match. Joe Flacco has more championships than Dan Marino. Like something doesn't match here, bruh. Brock Purdy, love him to death. Might get fucking him holding the trophy tattooed on my arm. Okay, like who the fuck knows what crazy shit I'm gonna do the night of, But I do get paid that Tuesday, before the Super Bowl. So and all my bills are paid. But
I get paid the Friday before. I'm like,
Bubby does too. So anyway, it's very love Brock Purdy, but Brock Purdy might have more championship rings than Dan Marino. By the way, with the reason he wears 13.
Yep.
Yeah, that something just doesn't add up. But do you say it's the Niners, the resolve of a championship, a team that basically, like Brandon said, now time is now. The time is now. The time is now. Is it more that, or do you say the Lions blew it more? And you can't say both.
I'd say it's more about the resolve of that veteran team.
I do too.
You do have, no matter how good you are, there's always that point where you still have to know how to put away a team. Yeah, they can get up quick on something. They can score on this. The one thing they didn't know how to do was put it away. That is something that you do have to learn. And next year, the year after, when this is a more seasoned team that maybe have been there, that they're in that situation more, you'll learn how to put that team away.
Oh yeah. This is definitely I felt this was more of the reserve of a champion as well. That's just how I personally felt more. And then also the fact of that, if there are any Lions fans listening right now, what I would tell you is this is one of your battle scars. If we are blessed enough to win the Super Bowl, I'm going to get a quote. I'm going to get, the 6 Lombardis, and I'm going to get a quote tatted. And I don't know what the quote, it's going to be something about the pain and the journey makes it worth it, but the faith will, I really think what it's going to be is it's going to say, faith is never easy. It is painful. It hurts. But in the end, it will be rewarded. I think like something like that. What I would tell Lions fans is this is one of those, and of course they're a franchise that doesn't need me to tell them about battle scars. Okay. But this is one of the scars that your players have to do. This is our losing the Super Bowl moment. This is your quarterback gets his arm ripped out. This is you watch a champion a chance at a championship slip through Jaquiski Tartt's fingers. This is losing Nick Bosa 3 plays into the game in New York. This is that moment.
Something, yeah.
for them.
I can't remember how many exactly it was.
This is the scars that we've had to take over the damn near 30 years. Yesterday, it was 30 years exactly since we won our last championship. Or 29 years, sorry. 29 years since we won our last championship. This is part of why I'm gonna come on here on the post-game show, and you're gonna, or Tuesday or whatever, and you're gonna see tears flowing down my face. The reason that all that is because of all the pain we've gone through, Jason. We all could think of moments. One of the coolest things that happened to me on Sunday was the people who aren't Niner fans. There were some people who were Niner fans, but there were people who weren't Niner fans that hit me up and said, congratulations. And I had to quick, respond to them like, hey, no congratulations yet. We still got one more and all that shit. But it was cool to think that people across this country, that when we won, the first thing that they did was think about your boy.
I got quite a few texts on Sunday night.
And that's a pretty special moment, right? When you could think of like across the world, bruh, the first, or across the country. I had a couple homies down south and on the East Coast hit me up. That's a very cool moment. And I remember looking at my girl and I said, babe, we've talked about this moment. So funny. The plan still is to get married September 2nd this year. So I told her, I said, all these things that we've talked about and dreamed about, the Niners going to the Super Bowl, us getting married, these things seem to be happening. And it's kind of funny that, like, when you talk about moments and everything like that, they're like, wow, they're actually kind of happy. Like, we've talked this whole year, Super Bowl or bust, Super Bowl or bust, well, fuck, we're in the Super, like, it could legitly happen.
It's time to bust.
It's time to do it or bust, right?
What up, Terry? How's it doing, brother?
I have to ask this. The Ayuk play. Okay. Faithful, I'm calling all faithful that are in the chat right now. What's up, Thunderdome? Good to see you, baby. Do we call it the Ayuk fluke?
No.
The immaculate deflection or the ladybug catch?
You don't call it the Ayuk fluke because that implies Ayuk did something. No, that implies he did something fluky. If you're going to say the Ayuk fluke, that means that he did something weird. So what you call it is the fluke to Ayuk.
The fluke to Ayuk. I like that.
Like I said, if you're saying that BA did something, the Ayuk.
Okay. The fluke to Ayuk. I like that. Yes. I like that.
That's what I'm going with.
It's official.
I don't know about officially, but that's the way I'm going with it.
No. It's official, bro. Look,
I hadn't heard the ladybug one yet.
Yeah, the ladybug. Of course, Kim's going to say the ladybug catch. Let's be real.
Which, by the way, did you see me get scolded on fucking Facebook because I didn't know that a ladybug landing on you was good?
Yeah.
Everybody was like, idiot,
my girl didn't know that either. Hey, bro, my drunk ass might get a fucking ladybug tattooed on my foot, my nigga. Like, if we ever see a picture of where that ladybug landed on BA's cleat before the game or whenever this ladybug landed, if we ever see a picture of that, I'm getting that ladybug. I'm getting a ladybug tatted wherever that is. On God, bro. On God. Somebody show me a picture of where that ladybug landed.
Went at me. I was just like, okay, my bad. I didn't know this.
But yeah, ladybug landing on you is good luck.
I now know this.
So I told my girl this morning, I said, babe, nothing will ever be the catch. The catch will always be the greatest play in franchise history. Right? Yeah. It's just it will we ever stamp number one. Is this game number 2? If the Super Bowl, which I've always kind of felt weird about the catch, and it's obviously because it was against the Cry Girls, more than the stop, more than Dan's bun play, because that pretty much did clinch us the championship,
Yeah.
But it's clearly because of the history with the Cry Girls and all that. But if nothing, amazing happens in the Super Bowl, right? Does this go up next to the catch as like not the Ayuk, the fluke to Ayuk, the play per se, But this game, do you say NFC? You say 5 Super Bowls, right? Those have to clearly be the 5 greatest games of franchise history, right? The catch, the 81 championship game, and then do you say the 2023 NFC championship game if we win the Super Bowl?
To me, the Saints playoff game with the Vernon Davis.
Your personal.
Yeah, that's me, but that was also because there was a whole lot of stuff going on in my life.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. Yeah,
so it's like I don't think this one can eclipse that just simply because of all that was going on.
Personally, mine probably like this one, personal, my mama's team, all that. But the Giants, because I remember, I'll never forget. What's up, David? How you doing, baby? I'll never forget. Do you remember that old school Niner hat that had just the on it? It was red, and it just had the SF. It didn't have the oval on it.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Late 90s, right? I remember I believe it was the year Steve got his concussion, because I remember that's the sideline hat that Steve wore my first Niner game. But anyway, I had that hat on and my Steve Young or my Jeff Garcia jersey. And I remember people were literally trying to take my hat and jersey off at halftime of that game. And I'll never forget just running around. It's called where most of the San Jose State athletes live. It's called Spartan Village, right? And one of our group home staff was a San Jose State football player. So we finished the game at Spartan Village. And I'll never forget running around Spartan Village going, "We'll see you in Tampa, nigga!" Like that, and just screaming at the top of my lungs and everything like that. But I don't know, bruh. I don't know. This one has to be number 2. Like I just, and I'm not saying that recently biased. Like personally, honestly, the greatest NFC championship game to me, non-Super Bowl winning, like if we don't win the Super Bowl, 2019 will still be more personal to me. A, being there, and B, the first season, I remember, like, I watched every game. What we know as Niner faithful now was officially born. Like, I don't miss Niner games, nigga. That type of fandom started in the 97 season. And I'll never forget losing the NFC championship game to them that year.
Makes sense.
I'll never forget that. And so in 2019, to have that revenge and be there for that, and I'll never forget just seeing the confetti fall down. And yeah. But if we win the Super Bowl, Brad, it has to be this. This has to be number 2. When you look at the circumstances of Kyle Shanahan teams don't come back.
Yeah.
They don't, Jason. They don't come back. From 24-7 down. Come on, Jason. Come on.
They don't come. Well, we can't say they do because they've now done it for 2 weeks in a row.
That's what I'm saying.
We can now put that whole thing to bed now.
The Niners should get rid of Brock Purdy, the player who's literally the greatest value in the NFL. He's on the last pick of the draft contract, and he is the starting quarterback for the NFC champions. That's literally you cannot be better value in the NFL. It's impossible. It's impossible. According to was it Schefter that said that the Niners have said that, or was it Rappaport that said that the Niners have officially said Brandon Ayuk extension is a priority this offseason?
I don't know who said it officially. I've just heard it from everybody that it's a top. It's the top priority for this offseason is getting him his contract extended.
You could say Nick Bosa was top priority, and we hope that it won't go down that route this year. But you know what, because Bosa had both of his sacks in the first half, right?
Yes.
You know what I really thought? The closest I thought to being like this game's over is I was like, is Nick Bosa literally going to get his only sacks in the postseason in the game we lose? Like, is that literally what's going to happen?
It was looking that way.
It was like, holy shit.
In the first half, he was trying. He was a wrecking ball in the first half.
He really, it really felt like the worst I thought it was going to be was I was like, okay, cool. I didn't think we are going to lose the game, 41-7 or anything like that. I was like, we're going to score some points because we were moving the ball.
Yeah, we just
I mean, because if you figure, so you have missed field goal, 12 plays, 45 yards. Touchdown, 8 plays, 75 yards. You have the pick that Brock throws, and then our one punt of the first half. So it wasn't like, oh, Detroit's just mopping us off the field. What made the offense feel bad was that you had the interception, they score the touchdown, then you go 3 and out. That's what made it feel bad on offense. We were moving the ball. Where I felt worried was, but if they're gonna keep marching down the field, it's not gonna fucking matter.
No, because the second drive was almost 7 minutes, I think is what it was.
Hold on, I got the drive up right now. 5:20.
5:20, okay.
But we only had 4 possession, technically 5, but it was the kneel down to end the half. So we had 4 possessions. If I told you, Jason, that the Niners in 4 possessions in the first half would have a Jake Moody missed field goal and a touchdown, would you accept that?
No. I mean, who would?
In 4 possessions?
In the NFC Championship game, why would you take that? At that point, when you're in an NFC Championship game,
I would have. The one that would have hurt me was the Brock pick, because you're like, you'll get a field goal there, If I would have felt a lot better. It ultimately doesn't matter. What really I felt hurt the worst was not getting the ball, not being able to say, hey, kick a field goal, and you're getting the ball to start the third quarter. That's where I had the issue at halftime.
Yeah.
Was like, okay, they literally scored the field goal to take the 17-point lead. Yeah, fine. I almost felt almost as much as I did at halftime with the Eagles game. Just because I felt like when it's tied 7-7.
How's it, my brother?
It was going to be, because going into the game, I said, look, I didn't think we were going to win this game defensively, in the sense that the defense was going to shut them out or whatever. I put this on the offense. I said, we're going to have to put up points. Right? If you said the Niners didn't tell you how it happened, but if you said the Niners won 34-31, and we were up 10 points, basically their final possession, and they scored a touchdown to basically make it a 3-point game. But it was essentially a 10-point game, 27-34. Or sorry, 24-34, basically going into the last drive of the game. Would you have said that's about what you thought?
Roughly. Well,
roughly what I would have thought.
My score prediction was 35-30. I was pretty damn close.
Off 1 point each way.
Yep. And by the way,
they scored 1 more point.
Steve-O's right here. Whoever decided to have them play that game, that was the perfect song for halftime.
Yeah, I thought that. I almost wonder. I bet you, if they were losing, you play "Don't Stop Believing." If we would have been winning, if they would have played Lights.
Yeah,
I bet you, we were winning. If the score would have been 24-7 Niners, they would have played Lights.
And then it would have gone the other way, because at that point, that song, that's the winning song, not the winning.
Yeah, So I'll never forget. I ain't gonna lie, Jason. The meme that's touched me the most that you shared, that's made me laugh, but like gave me a little tear, but made me laugh deep in my soul, was when you said the Niner fans who went to the 23 Thanksgiving game against the Seahawks to the 20
Oh, yeah.
the Niner fan, the faithful that were at the 2014, go be in peace. Right?
Yeah, from, the
Like
Lord
I
of the
remember I
Rings.
shed a little tear because I was like, that hurt, bro. That basically that's what wrecked the franchise. Like the cracks have been showing in the franchise before that game, but that's what busted the dam open was that loss to.
I don't know if I can
Seahawks
find
on
that one fast
Thanksgiving.
enough.
But that I shed a little tear, but I laughed so hard. This
Because it was
this
so
game
real.
was going to the 1957 Niners. The 2023 Niners going to the 1957 Niners that blew a 24-7 halftime lead against the Lions. Go be in peace. That's what this game was, because that was some fluke shit, bruh. They heard us celebrating, right? We actually kicked a field goal to take a 27-7 lead.
I can't
And then the
find it.
Lions came back and won 31-27, I believe that the score was. And same halftime score that we actually they didn't make the score 27-7. But was it what the Giants come back in
It was a
2002. 2002. That was more points, wasn't it? I want to say we were down like 21 points or something.
I remember that one.
Well, no, I know. Jason's right. They do play Bang Bang Niner Gang at the end of Niner wins, but lights playing the end, playing lights is actually the Giants. The Giants play lights at the end of. Oh no, my bad. If the Giants are winning going into the seventh inning or going into the eighth, the bottom of the ninth or the top of the ninth, if the Giants are winning, they play lights, and if they're losing, they play Don't Stop Believing, I believe. But anyway, the end of Giants wins, they play Tony Bennett, I Left My Heart in San Francisco. But
It must have been
okay.
real because I can't find it.
Okay. I know that I forget because there's if you look at the first day of the franchise that they did, there's a clip of them saying what song that they play. The name of the touchdown song that they play at the end of it's from like a San Francisco choir or something. It's called like San Francisco Streets or something. But it's the song when they play when the Niners score a touchdown. And then they do the Yahoo. But yeah, anyway. Lights are a Niner song for the win. No, it's not. It's Bang Bang Niner Gang. Could have sworn it's Bang Bang Niner Gang. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm too busy to going crazy to go Niner and talking shit to all the opposing fans leaving.
I wouldn't know. I've only been to one game.
Yeah, right. But we
we did.
Jason, just think about that, Brad. If we do win, right? Brock Purdy etches his name in franchise history. You and I were there when it started.
Yeah.
Think about I felt that way about I was there when Jimmy first took the field in the Niner uniform. It's a piece of Niner trivia I'll never forget. Jimmy G's first touchdown was to Louis Murphy. And the Niner uniform was Louis Murphy and a
bring back on that one.
Okay, I'm tripping. They play Journey at the end of the games then. But I bet you that they were going to do that. If we were losing at halftime, they were going to play Don't Stop Believing. And if we were winning at halftime, they were going to play Lights. So it just fit. Like, look, it I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it almost feels more like a team. But it almost feels like more of a team of destiny, right? Like more of a battle tested, more of a we've got our lumps. We look at the resilience of this team. Let's be real. We came into the Super Bowl flying high last time. There was no great grind about our Super Bowl run in 2019. The grit and grind literally came week 17 that year. That was the grime and the grit and the resilience and the heart of a champion play. was the final game of 2019. But the playoffs were actually easy. I remember the Vikings game got a little weird in the beginning. It got a little weird, and then we just.
It almost feels like at this point, like the Super Bowl might be easy, and I'm not saying that obviously because it's just the Chiefs, but it's like how much we've had to fight so hard, through our side of the to get in. It's like okay, this has to be
bro,
where it gets.
Look at where the Chiefs. I mean, they've had to win 2 games on the. Look at the quarterbacks they played, and they've had to play. Look, if anything, you would say, what's the Niners' best chance to win? Kansas City is feeling themselves like, hey, we've had to win 2 games on the road in Buffalo and Baltimore, right? Look at the defenses we've had to play, or the quarterbacks we've had to play, and we're gonna lose to Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. And that the dropsies show up. If we could hold the Chiefs to 17, 20 points, I'm sorry, I'm losing my shit if we can't score 21 points in the Super Bowl. If we hold Kansas City to 17 points, 17, 20, 21, even 24.
Yeah.
I would say 17 to 24 points, and you don't win the Super. It would have been better for us to lose last week. Honestly. If you can't score 18 points, 6 field goals, Robbie can't boot 6, or Jake Moody can't boot 6 field goals. I'm sorry, bro. Like,
how are you feeling about Jake?
I mean, is he Robbie? No, he's literally missed in the playoffs. But
True.
Look, for where this team is at, and with the salary cap that it was, right? For where this team's at, and ultimately you say, would you have Robbie Gould or Brandon Ayuk? Would you rather have? Now it would have came down to Robbie and Nick Bosa. Look, honestly, Robbie Gould and Javon Hargrave. That one's a little, that's where you get a little like,
I'd take Robbie over Javon the way he's playing right now.
Yeah, I would too. But could the Niners upgrade? Sure. Fine. But how? So we're going to spend another draft pick on another kicker?
Yeah.
But if you tell me
not happening.
If you tell me that they bring in a free agent kicker, undrafted free agent kicker to at least compete with him this year, is that malpractice? But I will say this. His misses have been right down the fucking pipe. His makes. I'm sorry.
He's probably having an aneurysm.
Moody is legit. I mean, look. I'll put it to you this way. Am I 1,000% confident that is my heart more in my throat than it will ever be probably my life? Niners down by 2. Jake Moody lines up for a field goal. Win or lose, right? 4 seconds left. 3 seconds left. Kyle calls his last time out. Right? We're down 21, or we're down 20 to 21. Right? We're down. Jake Moody lines up for the field goal. Is my fucking heart in my throat more than it's ever been in my entire life? Yes, 1,000%.
But at that point, I think it would be no matter who the kicker is, even if it was someone like Robbie.
Of course.
With that, with Super Bowl on the line, there's one's going to be okay.
Well, no. And also what it's going to be is let it be the one time he fucking misses in the playoffs. That's what it would be with Robbie. Let's be real. That's what you're thinking.
You don't want him to be Scott Norwood.
Yeah, right? Like, you're like, let Robbie go, Mr. I've never been in the playoff, end up Scott Norwood. Fucking A. But, I mean, when you look at where this team's at, And okay, Jason, so fine, you re-signed Jake Moody. What the fuck are you doing this year? Going to draft another kicker in the 3rd round? Like, you know what I'm saying? What are you doing next year? This is Robbie's last year. So you're either, my point is, you're either gonna have to eventually move on from Robbie, right? And what did Bill Wolf say? It's better to get rid of a player a year early than a year too late.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
you have to pull that Band-Aid at some point.
Same scenario, right? Misses the kick. What would be the narrative? You held on to him a year too long. Let's say it's a 48-yarder, 44-yarder. Not insane, right? A 44-yard field goal isn't insane, but you would feel not 1,000% for Robbie, right? So 44-yarder.
Yeah.
Not crazy. What would be the narrative if Robbie Gould missed that field goal? The Niners held on to Robbie Gould a year too late. That's exactly what the narrative would be, bro. I mean, look, I'll put it to you this way. I would say this. That miss was bad. Shanked it. Clearly has a problem kicking from the right hash. The Niners clearly ran the last play before he lined up for the last field goal. They clearly ran the last play to set him up on the left hash.
Be at peace.
There it is. I finally found it.
Yes, that is it.
It was on Twitter, that's why.
You know, I kind of shed a little tear about that, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I was laughing my ass off, but I shed a little tear because I was like, I ain't gonna lie, Jason. I got a picture on my Facebook and I got it on my phone. I'm biting into that turkey leg. That was the most fucking delicious turkey leg of my fucking life. Oh, you don't know how bad.
And I was there.
And you know, truthfully, honestly, that's kind of why I really wanted to go to this game, because it would have been paradise for me. But that's when you ask where my true deep-seated hatred I have for the Seahawks game, it was that game. It was that
game. Yeah, that one was just so vitriol. It's just like, oh, that one was just so.
It was. I felt dirty. I need to take a shower. Anyway, would you be able to kick a Super Bowl as a rookie game-winning kick for yourself? I mean, look.
I couldn't kick a field goal now.
I couldn't kick a field goal now.
I could do it now. I don't want all that.
I will say this. Which one would you, I mean, let's be real. Which one would you have rather him make? The one to make it 10-14 or the one to make it 27-24? Let's be real. You know, like.
Yeah, it's either one.
So, I mean, let's be real. He's made the ones that matter.
And I did put up the thing where we were comparing kickers earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to say it was like last game before last. They've all been the same. They're all within, a kick, a percentage point here or there, depending on how many it is. And so we're all good. Not worried. But
I will say this. If you did not bring in a kicker and free agent, trade a 7th round pick, a picks, whatever, to bring in a kicker to at least compete, it's malpractice, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
We'll go ahead and wrap it up after this, but big picture question. D-line. What the fuck are we going to do, bro? Remove our emotions from the second half, Jason. Remove your emotions from the second half. The strength, the supposed strength of the team is a liability.
For me, I am finding out whatever the biggest dude coming out of college is, and I'm sticking his ass right in the middle.
Right in the fucking middle.
Just because we need Javon Kinlaw is not turning into that. Even though he can do it at times, he's got the size, but just the talent isn't there for him. I want someone. What was the guy from the Patriots? Vince Wilfork. I want someone like that in the middle.
I would take Villa. No, everybody would take Villa, but
give me just
who I would take.
Give me some like 6'3", 360-pound, monster to
I'd
just sit right there in the middle.
You know who I'd be curious with the connection between John Elway and John Lynch? You know who I would be curious and see what it would cost to take him? I'd be interested in. I would entertain the idea of trading for DJ Jones. If you told me right now, would you rather have DJ Jones or Javon Hargrave?
Well, we're acting like Javon Hargrave hasn't done nothing. He's just not having the big impact. He has been solid. If you look at his numbers,
Yeah, I'm not acting like he's trash,
but he hasn't come up. You know, he's not. What did he have last year? Like 12 sacks, 13 sacks.
Yeah,
like
yeah. It was.
But
I'm just saying.
Impacted games.
And look, I will give him some credit because let's be real. What is the D line paid for? The D line is not paid to run stop. The D line, we're built to play from a lead, and they're paid to pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. And ultimately, the second half, what happened more? We peered our ears back, and I think if we look at this from the tails of two halves, I remember when I said, look, this ain't the same defense. This ain't the same Jared Goff. I think what we saw that in the first half, right? This ain't the same Niners D. This ain't the same Jared Goff. What we saw in the second half was more of this is the same Niners D. That's the same Jared Goff.
Yeah.
And I think that's ultimately.
I thought Jared Goff had a damn good game. Jared Goff is putting balls. It's not his fault. He had like 4 of the Lions receivers catch like 3 or 4 of those balls that were dropped. We're probably not having this same conversation today.
If I feel like almost like if we would have lost that Wacker game, that's almost what I felt like. Brock would have took the heat, but it would have been more the the whole team didn't play well.
Yeah.
You know, sure, Jared Goff missed some throws, all that and but Jared Goff ain't the reason they lost. He contributed, and honestly, are they looking at him as a future? No, I'm not saying that they.
Yeah, they are.
Did.
They are.
They are.
They have announced that they're
really
going
legitimately are going with Jared Goff.
They are going to. They're looking into extending his contract.
Well, for sure. And let's be real. Ultimately, I think this is why the 1 seed matters. When we can step back and were we rusty, you know, what's going on is I definitely believe I wouldn't go that far. BC. I wouldn't say he's elite, but
he fits their system.
I think he's very Brockish, where he's definitely. Could Brock go play for the Panthers or whatever? No. But you got Brock in the right system. Shit, honestly. But I will say this. If that game, I'll get to your comment in a second, David McNiner, because I want to dive into that a little bit. If that game's in Detroit, I think we lose.
Possibly.
But anyway, yeah, this is something that if we win a championship, I think he should, because if he doesn't, I think we need him. I think it's time to move on.
Yeah,
I think
he's just hurt too often, and that's not an injury that you can't work that one out. It's either you can tolerate the pain or you can't. There's nothing else you can really do.
It's definitely one of those situations that, look, if the Niners went and said, okay, clearly we got too much invested in the invested in the D line. Yeah, I got you, bro. We invested in the D line too much. I'd rather have Javon Hargrave than Eric Armstead, because at least I've been able to depend on Javon Hargrave being out there this season.
Yeah.
All right, Jason, final thoughts?
Going back to the Super Bowl, man. It feels like we should have been there sooner.
Yes.
than we have been. But we're finally back there with a good team, and this whole team of destiny thing, and it really feels like we're getting close this time. Like this could actually be the one to where, I'll be flying. Hopefully, in a couple of weeks, I will be flying down there. Like hopefully, like on a Tuesday morning.
Yeah, that would be ideal. No, bro. Honestly, I think because let's be real, I think Patrick Mahomes is a force to be dealt with.
Yeah.
I would bet majority of times you're going to run up against him. It feels like almost running up against Joe in the 80s. Like, what if the Bears won more Super Bowls? Where the Bengals would have 2 Super Bowls if they just simply didn't play Joe Montana? Would John Elway win a Super Bowl sooner if he just simply didn't play the Niners?
Yeah.
But it feels like if we're going to get it, this feels like the year.
Definitely.
All right, brother. We'll go ahead and we'll see you Friday.
Indeed. Talk to you on Friday. Bye for Tide. That's it. That's all I had.
All right, man. We'll go ahead and catch y'all next week. Go Niners. Thank you. Thank you. Quest for Corey and Laura Cat. Amen, brother. Amen. Let's fucking go. Oh, David McNiner. Feels blasphemous not to. All right. We'll go ahead and we shall see y'all next week. Oh, okay. My bad, Jason. I didn't hear it. But we shall see y'all next week. But before we get out of here, of course, we got to remind y'all, help out Niner Faithful Radio by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link. Link is available in the description of this video and podcast. Go to SeatGiant.com. Use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Catch us Friday, 6 p.m. here on the West Coast for our Super Bowl preview show. I think we'll probably do offense or defense. We'll figure it out. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio, Twitter at Niner Faithful R. Go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe to see everywhere you can subscribe to the show. We will not have any game day shows this week. And, of course, use the code Beat the Chiefs to save 20% off of all season 3 for the faithful by the Faithful Apparel. We shall see y'all Friday. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners! We're going to the fucking Super Bowl.